Hi guys, morning. Um, I saw a comment on Malaysian expatriates Facebook group. Someone was asking if he can survive in Malaysia with a monthly budget of 3,500 ringgit. And I saw another person that replied on the post that 3,500 ringgit would be a very tight budget. But that is not true actually. 3,500 ringgit for just your living expenses per month in Malaysia is very much enough. It's actually more than enough because 3,500 ringgit is more than double the amount of minimum wage in Malaysia. So, and someone that's asking that kind of question, of course, you will get to understand that he is in a little bit of a budget. And considering the cost of living in Malaysia, you know that 3,500 ringgit is more than enough to survive in Malaysia. And for instance, feeding, probably you wouldn't spend more than 50 ringgit a day for feeding. And if you multiply that in 30 days, that is about 1,500 ringgit. And then you still have about 2,000 ringgit balance. So, there are condo units of 1,002, 1,003 that you can get in a newly built condos that are not more than 5 years old, and sometimes you can get partially furnished units of that amount, and sometimes you can get non-furnished units, and this is in the city center. So if, let's say for instance, you rent a condo for 1,003 per month, and then your feeding is 1,005, that is a total of 2,008, and then you still have about 700 ringgit left, and that 700 ringgit can cover for your transportation and utility. Usually, probably you'll be living very close to your working place, so your transportation wouldn't be much. If you spend like let's say 10 ringgit for MRT and bus per day, and then times 10, that's 100 ringgit times 1 month is about 200 ringgit if you spend 10 ringgit a day because you work 5 days a week. So, and then which means you still have about 500 ringgit left. And that 500 ringgit should be quite enough for your utility. Probably if you're staying alone in the unit, your electricity bill wouldn't be above 200 ringgit, which is inclusive of your burning aircon every night you sleep, and your refrigerator is on, and probably some of the kitchen utensils you have are electric based. So, and what else? Probably TV and what other electronics you have in your unit. Probably you spend because I don't spend more than 200 ringgit. I don't even spend up to 200 ringgit for my utility in a month. So probably let's say you spend about 200 ringgit for your utility per month, and which means you still have about 300 ringgit left. So which means and then that 300 ringgit can be for some other miscellaneous. So which means 3,005 is more than enough for you to survive in Malaysia. If you're budgeting 3,005 for your living expenses in Malaysia, you will be living very comfortably because Malaysian minimum wage is 1,500 ringgit. So if people that are earning 1,500 ringgit can survive in Malaysia, which means you that is spending more than double the amount should be able to survive very comfortably. And this person is asking, he already budgeted this 3,005 to be his monthly expenses. That doesn't mean that that's what he earns per month, because Malaysian foreigners minimum wage, expatriates minimum wage is 5,000 ringgit. So this person that is asking this thing means that this is how much that he had budgeted for his monthly expenses. Doesn't mean that that's how much he's earning. So which means that with 3,005 you can very much survive in Malaysia, you can very much live comfortably, and you wouldn't actually face some shortage of funds to take care of your normal daily living. For something like this: feeding, accommodation, and transportation. Those are the three major things that we consider as your living expenses. Other things can be miscellaneous, and other things can be considered differently. So the person that's saying that it's going to be a very tight budget with 3,500, that person is not right, because probably that person only visited Malaysia for 1 week, and then he or she traveled a lot of places and went to a lot of activities and maybe spent more than that amount. So he thought that that's how it goes, but that's not how it goes. If you're living in Malaysia, Malaysia is quite affordable, very, very much affordable. There's no way you can spend above that in your basic living expenses per month, unless you're living extravagantly, unless you're spending money carelessly. So unless you're living like a very rich person. So if you're spending more than that, which means you should be earning probably above 6,000 ringgit if you're spending more than that. And if you expect to spend far more than that, then you should be earning above 10,000 or 15,000 ringgit. So somebody that has already budgeted that amount in Malaysia, you will very much survive. You will very much live comfortably in Malaysia. Actually, if that is your total earning per month, you could actually buy a car on loan in Malaysia here and still survive on that. People that are working, locals that are working and earning 2,000 ringgit plus, they can be able to buy cars and pay for their loan and still survive on their own living expenses. So the conclusion is, someone that has already budgeted 3,500 ringgit per month for his living expenses will be very much comfortable here in Malaysia. Thank you for watching my video, guys. I do hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you again. Bye bye.